Hi Scorpio, this is your October 2020 tarot card reading. Your animal oracle spirits that I've pulled two for you are Otter Spirit, and I also pulled the Pig Spirit. Now the Otter Spirit is here to remind you that you do have a support system. Even if you don't realize that you do have a support system. For some of you, I don't know if you're taking a lot of your time and effort and just spending it with one friend and just saying basically that you have no one there for you, just this one person, right? That you're turning and putting all this pressure on one person to be there for you. But it's basically closing in all your time, like closing off to other people and maybe only counting on one person, really. And this is telling you that you have a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of loved ones that are there for you. You are not alone. And I feel like that's the main purpose, too, of this card, is that it's about loneliness, right? You feel like there aren't a lot of people around. Again, like I said, maybe just one person that really cares and that's there for you. And that's not true. There's a lot of other people. Sometimes people just get very busy in their day and it seems like they're not there for you just because they have a lot going on. So I bet if you communicate with some other friends and other people, you'll realize that your circle is bigger than you thought. Now the Pig Spirit, this is all about you. You're very intelligent, very, very smart. And using that intelligence and everything is a gift to be shared with the world and just to be able to communicate with people all that you know, sharing that intelligence, sharing that knowledge, whatever you have gained, and being able to produce solutions to certain situations, right? Problem solve. And you have that ability to be able to problem solve. This is reminding you to try to problem solve. Don't feel so weak like that you can't. For some of us, when we're making decisions, we feel like we're not equipped to be able to make those decisions. Like we feel like we don't have enough information, or maybe we're not in that position. Maybe some of us may feel like, oh, I'm not, I don't know, smart enough to be able to, it's hard for us to put ourselves in that authoritative situation. Now, in your overall reading, I feel like authority is an issue, though, with you, that you like to have that authority. And this is saying that, yes, and you have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. Share that with people, but do it in a gentle way. And I think together, again, you have a lot of friends, you have a lot of support. Communicate, though, in a friendly way. That's another important thing for you. Now, as I said, I do feel that sense of loneliness. I use 3 different decks when I do these readings for you so that I could have a nice complete reading for you, okay? And in doing that, I am feeling this connection of loneliness. I see a lot of loneliness. Even if you're surrounded by a lot of people, I do feel like you feel disconnected in some way. There's some sort of a loss. Now, I'm saying for some of you, you lost a friendship or a closeness to someone, okay? Some of you may have felt betrayed by someone. They turned their back on you and left you behind. They betrayed you, they talked about you, stabbed you in the back, any sort of thing like that. Some of you had that traumatic experience with a friendship. Now, some of you just lost a friendship maybe in another way. It doesn't have to be traumatic, but for you, I feel like it is traumatic. I feel like it is depressing for you and that you do feel lonely. So even if people didn't just get up and leave you, you feel lonely and traumatized by this. Like you still feel heartbroken and a little isolated. Now those are some of the cards that I had presenting themselves. And the funny thing is too, that when I went to go put the decks away, I had 2 cards that flipped out as well. So I feel like the cards definitely want to talk about these that presented themselves in their own way. A lot of you are learning something, okay? You're learning something new. Maybe some of you are starting over with a job, starting over, your life is changing, something new that you've never gone through before. For some of you are learning, you might be going back to school, learning a new trade, but you're putting time and effort into something, right? You're starting out something new and building something. There's a lot of planning and time and effort that's gone into this as well, and it's been a slow process, and I feel like you're learning things and growing, but some of you, it's not something that maybe you're not completely in love with right? Like you lack ambition, a little bit of ambition with it. Like you're doing it, but I feel like, okay, I'll say it this way. For some of you, I feel like you're doing the work to learn something, but for you may not actually want to learn it, right? You're being forced into this new beginning, and that might be why there's like this heartache and pain over here too, over a loss of an ending or a relationship with a person. So some of you might be being forced into this new situation. There's the lack of ambition over it. Others of you, I think this is saying that because of your lack of ambition, you need to work on learning new stuff and being open to grow and start something new, right? So it depends on who you are, but I feel like that was important to say because they did present themselves. Going into your reading, I feel like there is a big issue with control. Someone likes respect, they like control, they like to be that authoritative figure. Now, if it's not you demanding that people respect you and listen to you, it may be someone else in your life that's kind of demanding, okay? And that might stress you out a little bit. I'm saying that's stressing you out because I also have the Ten of Wands here too. Ten of Wands is definitely just feeling that weight on your shoulders, right? A big burden that you're carrying around. That could mean that you're running around, you're working more than one job. For some of you, it could just mean like your home life with your work life and you're just busy, 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 busy. And for others of you, it could just mean like mentally you're just exhausted because it's too much to handle, okay? I feel like this demanding person ties in with the stress. Either you're demanding a lot of other people and that's stressful on them and yourself, or someone is demanding a lot from you. It can even be a job position. If you're in a position where you are the authoritative figure, maybe it's stressful having to control so much. So maybe you're stressed out. For others, if you're not in that position, maybe your boss is stressing you out. Maybe you just feel disrespected. I don't know, but there is that feeling of an overwhelming frustration, okay? Yeah, definitely a lot of frustrations coming from you too. You felt a lot of frustrations with this loss, because I'm having this loss show up here again, and these frustrations and this pain, this change. I think some of you still are, you may be coming out of this depressive state. I know some of you guys were in a depressive state for this, right? This change, again, I feel like it was unwanted. It's not something you wanted to go through. There was some sort of heartache. You know the reality of everything too. Everything is clear. You know exactly what you need to do, what's going on in your life. There, you have that clarifying energy here, but you're still kind of sad and closed off. I think for a lot of you, our outcome coming over here too. I think the role that you play in your life. Now, it could be at work. It could be if you're working plus you're doing this and that. I think you're just so overwhelmed that a lot of you are very, very exhausted. This could lead to illness, you know, right? Some of you may end up sick or recovering from being sick and, you know, ill. But for some of you, which I think is the majority of you, it's actually you need a break mentally. You're very stressed out and you probably just really need to relax. And it's coping with that. You know, maybe some of you might have, you know, anxiety. I definitely could see where you have some anxiety going on here. And you mentally just need that break. I do think, like I said, for some of you, it's like you're starting over and you're working hard, but the ambition isn't there. Like this wasn't really what you had wanted to do. And I did say for some of you, you lack ambition, so you're not really putting that work. But over here, I am seeing someone working hard towards something. Working hard, and I think maybe you're at work because you've been working hard learning this, even if you didn't really want to learn it. You know, you're doing it, but you don't really care for it. I think people are recognizing you too. They're saying, "Good job" to you. You're working hard, and people are acknowledging that. They don't think you're lazy. You know, they think you're a good asset or that you are working hard. Maybe they've complimented you. Maybe you received a raise or something for it. You know, Now, I think for some of you, although you've received this acknowledgement where you should feel kind of happy, I feel like some of you want more. It's not good enough. You want more too. And maybe that's like with this whole respect, it's like you have so much on you, but I think you also like that. Like you get stressed out easily, but I think you like to have that control and that power too. I definitely think that you're worried about money. Balancing money and having enough is extremely important for you right now. A lot of you might be saving. I'm seeing a couple of times throughout here that you financially are nervous and worried about money. But this doesn't mean the money's not going to be here. This is what you're worried about. So don't think that this means, oh no, there's not going to be money. I think you're just kind of stressed. And I mean, it's not an overwhelming thing. I just think you worry. You're a person that worries a lot. Now, the High Priestess is here too, right? So again, I said with you things being out in the open, you had the moon in reverse, things being out in the open, the High Priestess here too. Everything that's going on in your life, you know, whatever it may be, you know the truth. You know the situation. There is clarity here. There aren't any secrets. Whatever's going on in your life, you have no secrets here. So you do have control in that aspect. But that's that guidance and intuition too. And when I clarified it, I do have, again, our friend, the King of Swords, showing up again. That demand for power, right? But it's also balancing that. I think that's the important thing in this whole reading. Know that you have friends and family that do care. You may have lost some connections. You know, things may be changing. I feel like most of the connections are still there for you. I feel like when you're in an authoritative position and stuff, use that information when you share with people very gently. You know, don't be aggressive. Finding a balancing situation. Don't take on more than you can actually handle, you know. If you are a boss or in an authoritative position, make sure you're being gentle and kind too with people. Finding that perfect balance. For me, I believe that this, it may, if you feel like this is negative at all in this reading, I don't view it as so. I do feel that for some of you, you may not be entirely in love with the work that you're doing right now, but you are putting the work, you are being recognized for it, you are growing. I do think you will be happy. I just think that some of you need a break a little bit, right? You need to just have a chance to relax. I think a lot of you are taking on a lot. Like I said, it could be work mixed in with your love life, you know, being a parent, if you have children, if any of them are involved in extracurricular activities, you know, if you do more than one job. I just feel like some of you are a little overwhelmed and stressed sometimes and just need a nap. You just need a day off. I think that's where it's at. It's that finding that balance. But an overall good reading for you. Just try to be more positive about things, you know. I do feel like you dwell on losses in your life. The changes or the losses that you have endured. But I think that all in all, this is a very good reading because there aren't any secrets. Everything is out in the open for you. You're very strong. I feel like you are very independent in a lot of ways, and it's just you finding a balance in your life. Have a wonderful October, Scorpio.